Hello, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to the windiest city in America. No, I'm so grateful for the wind. It's been really flat this time of year, and we, living next to the coast, really are very appreciative of the nice cool breezes that we get that actually help us cool down. But I wanted to start out today by talking to you, first of all, if you all will notice, and you might have seen a live that we did this last week, that we have begun to let our chickens out in the gardens, in the whole yard, not just in their run, but we have let them take over the whole yard. And the reason that we've done that, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper into some really important things that I think that we need to know about today, but you've probably heard me or other people use the term alchemizing. Well, chickens are a natural way to alchemize the waste in your garden. And they're helping me to purify this space. And they're helping me to alchemize things that are in this garden. Pests, blight, weeds, pests, I said pests. All the things that the seeds that I may not want to regrow.
Pests.
Kind of, the pests. And really cleaning up my garden. And, okay, so many of you guys have heard me. You may have even seen that I did a TEDx talk, my second TEDx talk, just recently. I did it in 2020, October of 2020. It was called My Garden is a Sanctuary. And so every week I come on here and I talk gardening with you. But for me, and for those of you that have been following over the last 12 months, you will know that for me the garden is much more than a nutrition center. It's much more than a place for my birds and bugs. It's much more than a place of just beauty and color and brightness and life. It is truly a sanctuary for me. It is truly my Garden of Eden. And I've begun to get better at understanding how I bring that home right inside myself and how I create that same garden sanctuary, safe space of home inside myself as well. But today is an extremely, extremely important day. It's a day that we all across the world, all across consciousness, have the ability to begin purifying our gardens. Purifying what's going to be coming over the next 6 months to 12 months of our lives. In this time and space, we are going to be purifying and cleaning our gardens, and this has been easy for me to explain and easy for me to really begin to process and then to share with you and to help inspire you as we move through this next time. So, over the next 12 days, I'm going to spend a lot of my life and time during this, what we would call the quiet, the fallow season, as we move into the next year of gardening, as we move into the next season, all of those types of things. In this space, we are setting our intentions. The first thing that we are doing is that we are cleaning our gardens. We are weeding our gardens. We are pulling out all of the weeds and all of the things that we want to pull out. But if we expand beyond just our physical gardens that we're working on with the chickens that are naturally helping us alchemize some of the weeds and the seeds and all of that, and take it back inside of our mind and what we desire for all of consciousness, what we desire for not only my garden, but for your garden and for our garden, all together. And so one of the things I want to do to kind of give you some ways to kind of kick this off for yourself is to just name some of the weeds of things that I've been pulling out of my garden. Yes, in my physical garden, we are pulling out weeds of things we don't want growing for the next season. Yes, in my physical garden, my chickens are helping me pull out the seeds that I don't want growing. They're helping me eat the caterpillars of the overabundance of caterpillars and make too many things that are going to eat up all of my garden. Yes, there's all kinds of ways for that to happen, but what am I doing with that, with the garden that's inside of us, that's internal for all of us, for me, for you, for our entire world? Weeds. I'm pulling out weeds from my garden like doubt, mistrust, competition, loss, disease, anything that is not serving our higher good. Violence, loss, fear, jealousy, need for approval, dishonesty, squashing things, slavery, judgment, brokenness, alienation, gossip, classism, separateness, broad spray of death, waste, trash, non-natural. These are all the weeds of things we are pulling, we are extracting, we're pulling them out of our gardens, we're pulling them out of ourselves, we're pulling them out of our world, and we have a moment in time over the next 12 days to work abundantly in pulling and cleaning as we begin to prepare our beds. Now, I'm not saying, gardeners, run out immediately and chase those seeds and put those seeds in and put those seeds in, because right now what we're doing is preparing the space for the seeds that we are planting over the next 6 months, and then the harvest that we will begin seeing over the next 6 months to the full 12 years as we come all the way around, back around to August 8th of next year, right? Okay, so what are some of the seeds that we're planting in this garden of abundance, this garden of desire, this garden of wishes, this garden that is my garden, this garden that is your garden, this garden that is all of our garden? What kinds of seeds are we planting? I got to flip back over here to this space over here. What are the seeds we're planting? I'm planting love. I'm planting life. I'm planting color. I'm planting wellness, health, water. I'm planting decomposition. Do you hear that? I'm planting death. I'm planting decomposition. I'm planting breakdown. Those things are required in my garden of abundance.
Well, then they can't be avoided in real life.
They can't be avoided in real life. They are real. I'm planting movement. I'm planting air. I'm planting seasons. I'm planting all the seeds. I'm planting the ideas. I'm planting green. I'm planting bright. I'm planting wisdom, creativity, solutions to the adversity and the problems that will come. I'm planting wealth. I'm planting what I can take, what I can share, what I can give. I'm planting youth. I'm planting eggs of things that are going to pop up and I'm going to get birth out of it and I wasn't even expecting them. I'm planting in chaos. I'm aligning. I'm planting alignment. I'm planting safety. I'm planting support. I'm planting boundaries. These are all the things that you are actually planting physically in your garden as you begin to prepare. What are you actually going to be planting in your gardens, and what are you actually going to be harvesting from your gardens? What are the failures you're going to run into because you are? What are the diseases that you're going to run into because you are? What are the joy, the bliss, the nutrition? What is the beauty? What is the water? What things are we going to go through in this next year? Freeze, wind, hurricane, flood. We don't know. We don't know. But we are going to see all of these things, and everything we can do together as a collective consciousness over the next 12 days to purify, to pull out, to weed out, to clean out, to alchemize, and then to begin putting the seeds in. Begin deciding what are the seeds of intention that we're planting in our gardens right now over the next 12 days, and then what are we putting in the ground when we begin going after it. Because just like today, I'll say, go after the seeds that you want for the life that is leading, is coming for you. I'm going to say the exact same thing about the day that I go into the ground with my seeds in my garden.
The analogy seems tight, because if I had a garden and I wanted to get carrots and I didn't plant carrots, I wouldn't be able to get them. All I'm hearing you say, what I'm hearing you say is you've got to be forward thinking about the things that you're planting so that you can yield them.
Yes, and not only what I'm saying is that when we, as humanity, come together and decide what we don't want and what we do want, we get what we do want together. We create this massive vibration of everybody on the internet is talking about what we're getting rid of and what we're planting. So you have the power within your influential base, within your sphere, within your garden, your community, your world, to help me, you, and us create everything we want. Okay, I've sat here long enough. I've preached to you long enough. Now let's get up and look around at the beauty that's coming and growing and happening around us as we're utilizing the things that we've been given in nature to alchemize and to turn things that are wasteful and broken and disease into something we actually want, that's nourishing and beautiful and fills us with energy and creates new life. The egg? Think about it. All right, let's look around.
It's been fun. I guess 2-3 days ago we decided to put the chickens out, and it's been so much fun walking out the back door, and there the chickens are.
It's drawing me back into our backyard. It's drawing me in to want to be a part of it. It's watching the interaction of my little dog and teaching him that yes, there is something you can do. Like, this is what I've seen him. Number one, he has learned that he has friends in his backyard. He's like, oh, there's fun out here. It's something to do. He also learned that there's certain places that I don't really want them in, and so he kind of will move around them and herd them into other places, but they also will like go after him back a little bit, and so then they kind of create a, you know, a situation that I have to teach him, okay, well, this is how I want you to help me move my animals around the yard. Don't be mean to them. They're our friends. Don't bark at them. Don't chase them. Don't, you know. So we're learning this kind of like alignment of the backyard.
This happened this morning.
Space.
Whenever since I'm the one that feeds the chickens 99% of the time,
yes,
they recognize me as food being.
That's right. They follow you.
So
all
they
over
follow
the
me
place.
around because I could pull, you know, a P.F. Chang's to-go container out of my pocket at any moment filled with rice, their favorite thing to eat. So this morning I walked to the back door and they followed me, and I just was playing around. I had the door open to see if they would try to follow me inside.
The house.
And Kai-Shen, our dog, had nothing to do with that. No.
He's like, no, you don't.
You do not go inside here. That I know.
You don't go in there, that's for sure. So we have been a part of the cleaning up, of course, this past, not just the chickens. We've been moving things out. Joe's been weeding.
Well, I moved these out because underneath the potted plants were all around this tree. I moved them this way to expose all of the little buggies that are underneath them, and the chickens had learned to follow me around because I'm gonna expose all kinds of fun things to eat.
Yeah, so they're basically getting the final harvest of this garden as it relates to us. Now, there may be some people that come along after us and use these garden spaces. I hope that they do, because there's a lot of really good soil here that I've left for the next people. But even if the owner, because this is a house that we just simply rented, and we made a good agreement with the landlord when we moved in about what I do and the garden spaces we were going to create. So even if the new owner came in, took down the little fences that we've created, spread out this soil right here and anywhere in here and even in the back there, this beautiful grass that's grown back here will just take over. And it'll be nutritional. It'll actually be lifted up in spaces. We actually have helped this backyard be a very, very nice place, whether people actually do the gardening the way I did or whether they just spread this nice, great, life-giving soil out and grow beautiful grass back here as well. The tree itself, the pecan tree that the landowner, of course, it's important to him. That tree is healthier than it ever was before, and it's created this nice little quiet sanctuary. So even if they go in and put in, like, bring in a landscape designer that's not about edible food like I am, they could really just create a nice little spot. It's easy to do that with on these spaces over here.
I learned that in Boy Scouts. Leave it better than you found it.
Leave it better than you found it, exactly. And so we've been able to like develop this nice space and then clean it up and then leave it for the animals to harvest the last little bit of it. Get anything off of any of the broccoli or anything that I've left behind with that. They're loving the broccoli. Of course, they're loving all the insects and seeds that are coming off of all of these trees. And they're just getting this space ready for whatever happens back here. I mean, we talked about taking this fence down right here, and we may do that right as we leave. And then what'll end up happening here is that this space, even if the landlord decides to like move this soil down and lower this out, we know how the water stands back here. The grass will just grow into this space back here, and it'll just be a better yard. And that's really all there is to it. But you can see, I mean, I've pretty much just let it overgrow, and we've let the chickens come in here. The chickens have been getting up all up in these spaces and picking around and everything, and just having the final harvest of their gardens. So,
are you? Does it make you sad?
I believe that every day that I get closer to actually taking my feet off of this land right here is gonna be a little hard for me. I am very connected to this space. I've set a lot of intentions, planted a lot of seeds from this garden, from this backyard, but at the same time, I don't feel a loss. I do not feel a loss. I feel like I created something here. I made a beacon of hope and light right here in the middle of the city for everyone that is willing to receive it or be a part of it, and that I'm taking that with me to expand it even bigger on a bigger piece of land for more people to be a part of it. And I think that there is some great and important space for planting seeds and inspiring people to plant seeds and to know that there's more